Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of My Mission Experiences here. Today we're here with Carter Rathmann, my favorite mission companion of all time. So I got him on board here today. Say hello, Carter.
Hey guys, how's it going?
There we go. So I told Carter that we're gonna have him on here today to kind of reminisce a little bit about our mission experiences, tell some stories. Probably will be a little bit longer of an episode because of that. So just be aware. So, all right, Carter. Let's see here. Let me see. Do you remember this picture?
Dude, I remember it just like it was yesterday.
Dude,
I remember it was so surreal. Like it's one of those photos that a lot of missionaries like they dream about taking. And I
yeah,
just
man.
remember being in that moment thinking it was just so unreal.
Dude, I know. I remember you being scared out of your mind. Oh man, it was such a funny experience. Dude, look how freaking skinny you were. You looked like both of us.
Hey,
Oh
I
my
was just
goodness.
gonna say, talk about yourself, will
I
ya?
I know, I know. We were both like sickly skinny. And you had just gotten the mission, so so
I was literally talking with my mom about this like a couple days ago, like 5 years ago, was that when that photo was taken, which is crazy.
that is freaking bizarre, dude. I can't believe that. The time goes by so fast. It really does. It flies by. So it's crazy. All right, let's see here. So this was getting to the mission. As you told me, you listened to that episode today, and did I do you justice? Did I give everything justice, or did you want to add anything to my episode from earlier today? Which by the time this is posted, it'll be yesterday, but still.
No, I knew exactly one of the things you were gonna say, like on your first impressions with me, that I walked right up to you and all I did was start talking about my dad. There's
Dude.
context to that. Like there's context to that.
Oh boy.
The guy the guy the guy I was talking with before I started talking to you, he was asking me like, "Hey, who's some of your role models in your life?" And I said, "Well, my dad is one." And so I thought you would ask me the same question, and I came up and I was like, and we didn't really know what to say. And so I was like, well, I was talking with the other guy about my dad, so I'll just tell you about my dad.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. I don't judge you too hard for it. I just like to tease you for it. So, all right, all right.
No, we've known each other for 5 years now, and every time I hear you explain to someone how we met, that's
It's
how
the
you
same
do it.
story. Yep, always.
Yeah,
It's because it
I met
explains you.
this. Yeah, and then of course you had to mention something about the day I decided to wear a sweater over in my suit
That's
too.
just what I was about to ask you. I was gonna say, what was going on in your head here? What what inspired this fashion sense?
What inspired in that fashion sense is we're in freaking the Patagonia, and it was a cold day, and I didn't know I'd be wearing a suit too. Like I didn't know it was a day like a special occasion for a suit.
Oh yeah.
I already had a sweater on, so I was just told to like, hey, put your suits on.
Yep. That was so funny, dude. I remember you walking up to me and I was like, "What the freak is this kid wearing, dude?" Oh my gosh. Okay, so you remember as we talked about in the last episode, you remember when they put Elder Machado and I up in the front of the room, had our backs towards the projector screen, and you came running up. And you spun me around in circles, dude. You remember that obviously, right?
Yeah, dude, I had so much adrenaline going through me that like I didn't mean to pick you up. I just happened to, and then when I did, I was like,
Went with it.
all right, but better roll with it.
Oh
I
man,
mean, I probably could have lifted Elder Machado up if, like, when I had that much adrenaline.
dude.
So,
Oh my goodness, that's so bizarre. How what was your initial reaction to being called to Ushuaia? Like, did you know much about Ushuaia, or were you kind of just like, I have no idea where I'm going?
I mean, I knew it was like the island. I knew it's where everybody wanted to go.
Yep.
So I was, I mainly wanted, I mainly didn't want to sound ungrateful to be going to Ushuaia when honestly, yeah, I had kind of no clue about it.
Yeah.
I knew everybody was, I know all of the trainees that were there, they're all like, oh, I want to go to Ushuaia with either Machado or Passy.
Let's
And
go.
so I didn't, I counted myself lucky, like being the one that got to go there with you. And, it was just, it was a weird moment. I was like, cool. And then when I started talking to secretaries and everything, everyone was like, "Dude, I haven't even been to Ushuaia yet, and
Yeah.
man, that'd be my dream to go there." And
Yeah,
so I was
dude.
like, "Okay, I guess I have a pretty cool area."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you really did have like the best of both worlds. I mean, it was third world as heck, so you were humbled real quick, but it was also like easily the most beautiful area in the entire mission. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
big time.
dude, it's crazy to look back on that and think that that was 5 years ago and that those times went by so fast. Oh man,
Yeah,
it's really bizarre to think about, but do I don't know if you ever had this, but when I so I got off the bus as I talked about again in the last episode. I got off the bus 43 hours, dude. Got to Comodoro. They just took me straight to the mission home, and that's when I met all the missionaries. And first thing was first, like Elder Millward walked up to me. You know Elder Millward pretty well. Elder
oh yeah.
Millward walked up to me and he's like, "Bro, you're Adventures of Jacob Passy." And then I think there were a couple other missionaries that recognized my Instagram account that my mom had been posting on, that I have all these pictures saved on. Did you know anything about that or no?
No, I had
No.
no idea.
Okay. It was like so bizarre, surreal. I was like, wow, I feel like a celebrity. So it was kind of crazy. What happened? I remember you came in late. What happened? Where your tramites, your paperwork, your visa paperwork got lost in it, or did wrong or something?
I think it was my MTC companion Elder Rathmann, that
Oh,
had
okay.
some problems,
Yeah.
and whatever the problems were, I can tell you right now, I would have no idea what were the problems. I
Yeah,
mean, everything was done in Spanish, and I was just I was late because I was just a tag along. I was just like, he's my companion right now, so I'm gonna stay with him,
that makes sense, dude.
and
It's
I
It's crazy because I had they did my paperwork wrong when I first got to the mission. I don't think I told this story in any of the episodes, but they did my paperwork wrong, and they sent me back with an elder named Elder Costa. He went home before you would have ever met him, but is this Brazilian elder. And I remember we're driving, and this is like the first time I was ever like in Argentina in the front seat of a car driving, and he's all like, he looks at me and he goes, "Le gusta Fast and Furious?" Or no, he said rapidísimo y furioso, and I was like, what? And he like thought about it. He's like, Fast and Furious, and I was like, do I like Fast and Furious? Yeah, I guess. And he goes, good. And then he just like slams on the gas, and it's a two-way road, so there were cars coming like this, and there's a freaking semi coming this way and a semi going that way, and he freaking goes between the two of them and takes off. And I remember like literally sitting there crapping my pants as he does that. So, oh man. Anyways, that was I just remember that story, so
Hmm.
it's crazy stuff. McDonald's, dude, you were blessed to have McDonald's right at the very start of your mission. Did you ever get it again? I don't think you did you?
no, I never got it again. I mean, um, you talking about the Salernos? I ended up having the Salernos and another mission president, and the mission president, after President Salerno, his name was President Camejo, and he decided he didn't want missionaries flying to Buenos Aires anymore. He didn't want them leaving the mission boundaries. So the
Interesting.
only places we would be able to fly is Ushuaia and Trelew, or anything by bus. So a lot of things that we ended up doing was by bus.
That makes
But
sense.
I had places that you were talking about in the last episode. Like I had Mostaza a lot,
Yeah.
when I was in the zone, Pico Truncado, we'd go to Coletta Livia, and then we'd have Mostaza there a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, dude. I remember Mustasa. I didn't really like Mustasa all that much. I only had it like once or twice in my mission, so but
It was just another burger.
yeah. Um, do you remember, you remember obviously talking to me, and I was just like so out of it because I hadn't slept in 2 days. So I hope you know I wasn't trying to be mean to you.
I
So
remember talking to you, but I don't remember. I remember you saying like, "Hey, Elder, I'm just gonna sleep," and I was like, "Oh, okay," but I don't remember continue talking to
uh,
you after that.
oh, maybe I got it wrong, but I swear you kept talking. So anyways, um
Maybe.
okay, let's see here. There's Montalivia. Um, my wife saw this picture earlier on her her Insta or her YouTube channel, and she's all like, "What the heck is this?" And she looked. She's like, "Oh, that's you and Carter. I thought it was just two random missionaries getting married." And I was all like, "No." So she's all like, "You might want to be careful with that." And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll just call it clickbait." So she was giving me crap about it, but that's all right. I love
I
this
remember
picture.
you doing it. I remember you doing it, and I was like, I don't know. I can either stand here and look like an idiot, or I can play along with it. So I played along with it.
There we go, dude. I'm glad you played along with it. That's just the same thing that I did with my trainer. So do you remember this guy?
I do. I don't. I couldn't tell you his name for the life of me, nor where are they from in the United States. But he just showed up and was like, "Oh yeah, I served my mission here."
That's
I was like,
crazy.
"Oh, that's cool, I guess." And he was kind of looking around the church, and he was like, "Yeah, we didn't have this church when I was here, but it's so great to just come here." And we decided we'd stop in, and it was just on a day that it was open.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. It just happened to be open that day. Lucky man.
I
Oh,
guess
bro, empanadas. Well, I'll just explain. Carter is an empanada freak still to this day. He called me
to this
just
day.
just the other day, and he's like, "Bro, next time you drive through Ogden, you got to stop, uh, and get some empanadas from this dude. He's from Ushuaia. He'll give you a discount." So, I'm coming down for conference. I don't know if I told you that, but I'll have to stop in and grab some empanadas from him.
Just tell. Well, he served his mission in Ushuaia too. He's actually from Buenos Aires. He served his
Oh, that's
mission
what it is.
in Ushuaia too. So that's that. So I got to talking to him, and since you served in so many areas of Ushuaia, you probably know some of the people he was like some of the names he was saying to me. He asked me like, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I was like, "Nope, haven't heard of him." He was like, "Oh, well, I converted them to the church."
That's
I was
crazy.
like, "Oh, that's yeah." So when you go start talking with him, tell him you went to Ushuaia, and he'll be like, "Oh,"
Yeah,
and he'll
dude.
probably list off a ton of names because hey, you know a lot more people there than I did. So
It's true. It's true. I think the hard thing about starting your mission in a mission area, like you just, for me at least, I was in Calafate for 3 transfers. My camera keeps freezing here, but that's all right. Um, yeah, man, that's the hard thing about starting your mission in like a beautiful area, or just in general starting your mission in a different language. You leave that first area and you really don't have a whole lot of people that you keep in contact with because there's the language barrier. You don't get to know them super well. Other than Karina and Omar, do you keep it in contact with anybody from Ushuaia really?
every now and then I'll get a every now and then I'll get a message from Hermana Maidana,
Oh
Sister
yeah,
Maidana, and then she'll just say, "Hola, Elder Batman,"
I
and
forgot they called you that, dude. Oh,
yeah, I mean, that's actually how I ended up like saying how I pronounced my name,
yeah,
like to other people, I'd be like, it's like you say my name like it's Batman but with an R.
Rathmann. That's true. I totally forgot about that. That's crazy, dude. Oh man, the things that you have to teach people, like they always would say, "Ah, pasen, pase, come inside. Thank
But
you, appreciate it." I heard that
yeah,
everybody thought they were so funny, and they said that just about a million times in our mission. So gotta love that.
I
Um,
remember hearing it.
oh, I know everybody said that. Oh my goodness, dude. I was thinking just the other day. I haven't got to it in this, but in any of the episodes yet. But the thing that's crazy is, do you remember stressful days going to the bay and skipping rocks,
Oh yeah, 100%.
dude?
I mean, we did that so often. I mean, just the other day, like I pulled out my mission camera and I was showing pictures of my wife and I showed her videos of us skipping rocks and I remember we found this broken tile next to there and we were skipping pieces of tile through it and they were going super far.
I remember that, dude. I remember that. I'll have to have you on. I'll have you on again. On my ending episode when I go through like all of my pictures. I have my hard drive just chilling right here, but um, on my hard drive I have all of my mission pictures. I'm gonna go through that instead of just my Instagram pictures, and we'll have to go through and watch some of those videos and everything. A little bit of backstory for everybody that doesn't know. Carter and I, when Carter first got to the mission, he was a lot like me in the sense that he struggled with Spanish, as do most gringo missionaries. But I remember days that it was really hard. for him. I mean, for example, I'd get headaches, and I remember I'd go home. Carter was probably tougher than me in the mission because I would go home in my first area, and I can't tell you how many times I just like lay in bed and kind of just get teary eyed and just release some tears. I never saw Carter do that. He would just go home and he'd pass out in about 3 seconds. But when I
Not
knew,
enough time. Not enough time to cry.
I know seriously, days that Carter was having a hard time. We'd go down to this bay. We had a bay in our area. It was right down the street from one of our investigators' houses. We'd go skip rocks. It was a beach, but it was a really ugly pebble beach, and we just go find flat rocks and skip them. And to me, those are some of my most cherished times, alongside of finding investigators like Liliana, who I haven't gotten to tell about yet because to this point I haven't been able to. We haven't gotten there yet, but we'll tell some stories about that right now. So Liliana was actually she was a reference from one of our members in our ward from
Yeah,
yeah, from the Negrete family.
honestly. Yeah.
And anyways, we got that reference, and Carter and I went over there. Do you remember when her dog peed on my backpack?
No, I don't.
Oh goodness. So long story short, we went over there and we started teaching her. Do you remember how hard it was to find her? It was like near
Oh,
impossible.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got photos of like those pallet stairs that you used to have to climb in order just to get up to her house, you know? And
Yeah,
yeah, they gave us like street names and such, and there were no signs of like the street name or anything really
yeah.
what it took to get to her house.
I'm trying to find a picture here of it, but I don't think I have any. Oh, right there. This is a perfect picture. Their house was right next to this. It was like an abandoned, kind of like a dump,
Oh yeah.
genuinely. And they really just stacked pallets on top of each other. And then it's in Brazil they call them favelas. They don't really have a name for them. They call it a barrio in Argentina, but they just literally like built houses on top of houses. And when Carter and I first went looking for Liliana, we knocked on this door that we thought it was, and we're like, "Is there a Liliana here?" And the kid was like, "Yeah, there is a Liliana here. She's not home right now, but come back another time." And we're like, "Okay, sounds good." It turns out we happened to knock on the completely wrong door, and there just happened to be a Liliana in that house. So it was just completely the wrong people. But we actually got to give them a couple pamphlets, and we went back and talked to them a couple times. But Liliana was super hard to find. She was like right at the top of this like neighborhood that was built just on top of each other, and we had some really good lessons with her. One of my favorites is we walk into a lesson. I set my backpack on the down on her ground, and her dog immediately came over and peed on it, which my backpack reeked for like weeks after that. I washed it a couple times too, but one of my favorite stories of Carter is we're in a lesson, and Carter, you know where this is going. I know you
I
know where
already
this is
know.
going.
I already know.
We're sitting in a lesson. Carter's brand new to the mission, and we start teaching this lesson, and Carter's just excited to be able to like want to talk and I almost said compartir, to share parts of this lesson with Liliana, and uh, we finally get to the part where we want to invite her to the church, and Carter pipes up, and I was like excited to hear him talk. I'm like, oh, he's gonna talk, and he says, "En nuestra iglesia tenemos una concha," and that was just completely the worst thing he probably possibly could have said. Just
Say the full sentence. I say tenemos una concha re piola.
oh, that's what it is. Yep. And for direct translation, if you translated that, he said, "In our church, we have a really cool seashell." Well, concha in Spanish is a very vulgar name for the female reproductive organ. What he was trying to say is tenemos una cancha repiola, which in long terms, my camera just cut out again, but in terms, he was trying to say we have a cool soccer court at at our church building. But anyways, all right, guys. Sorry about that. We're back. I had some technical difficulties, not only with my camera but Zoom. I don't pay for the full version, and it stopped working. So, you know. So I just read part of this paragraph here, and I was laughing because do you remember my little iPod that I had, Carter?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So that thing had a pedometer on it, and I remember one day we walked. Do you remember the day they cut off the buses? Like there were no buses.
Yep, I do remember that.
Um, so I have here that we walked 42, almost 43,000 steps that day, which was the equivalent to 22 miles. And I was reading right beneath there. It said that you kept telling me that you were convinced that North Korea was cutting off all of the internet systems and everything, and that was the reason that the bus wasn't running that day. So, oh my
Well,
goodness,
the buses weren't running that day because like you couldn't charge your Sube cards,
yeah.
and um really the buses just weren't up and going, so it was like, you know what? I think we're cut off from the rest of the world right now. We're on our own.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. It is what that felt like. So, I have this picture here, dude. I have to laugh at this picture. This picture is hilarious. Look at that poor dog. That dog just like kept following us. So we picked it up and took a picture of it. It's totally smiling for the picture too, bro. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, dude. Good times. We had fun times together, man. Okay,
a lot of
so
fun times.
I gotta throw you under the bus again here, Carter. Just for humor. So Carter got to the mission, and we went to our local grocery store, La Nonima is what it was called. And one day we're standing there, and Carter's like, "I need some more hair gel. Can we go get hair gel?" And I was like, "Sure." And so we walk over to the hair product section, and he's like, "Ah, perfect! I found it." And he picks up this can, this a metal can, a circular can like this, and it said Nivea on it, the brand. And he's like, "I got my hair gel." And I look at it, and I was like, "Bro, that's not hair gel. That's freaking lotion for your face." And he goes,
You know,
"Well,
it's not actually in the Anonyma. You realize that we
was
were
that?
in our apartment, and I had already used it in my hair.
Oh, was that what it
You're
was?"
like, yeah, we were in our apartment, and that's when you realize, like, hey, this isn't hair gel. Like you were just looking at it one day, and
Oh
you're
man.
like, hey, this isn't hair gel. This is face lotion.
That's right. That's right. And then but you still went to the Anonyma like a week later and you bought more of it for your hair.
It worked.
It worked and it smelled really good, I have to say. I'll give you that. Dude, the thing that I remember so vividly for some reason, it always goes back to it, is the is it Lucky Tiger shave balm or what was it called?
Yep, it's called Lucky Tiger, and it is an aftershave to prevent ingrown hairs and razor burn.
Dude, I remember that I would put that on. You let me put that on all the time, and I have a beard at BYU Idaho, attending BYU Idaho because I have super sensitive skin, and they gave me a shaving exemption. But I remember using that stuff in the mission because all my neck would get rubbed raw every day from the darn collars of those shirts, man.
I mean, I have some in my bathroom right now that I still use it.
That's good stuff, dude. It's good stuff. I've thought about buying it multiple times after the mission. Oh, look, there's Hermano
Hermano Mena,
Mena, man. That guy is so cool. Remember when he
really
told
cool
us?
guy.
Do you remember when he told us he was gonna bring us Dr. Pepper from Chile?
Uh, he never came through with it, but
That's
man, we were excited.
I know. That's all right. He probably I think he couldn't find it. Do you remember what this is right here? This activity?
It was a family search activity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the cocoa activity.
Oh yeah.
So, and at the very end of my time in Ushuaia, we came up with an idea, mainly because we wanted to watch the movie Coco, but it was also an approved movie in our mission. Coco really talks about family history a lot, and so and the importance of never forgetting a family member that has passed on. And Carter and I, along with the sister missionaries, we developed a way to watch Coco with the ward, but then also turn it into a family history activity, which was a huge success. We set up times for a week straight, every single night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Um, we we kicked it off on a Saturday night, and it was we watched Coco, had treats, had snacks, everything. Sunday we talked about it in church. Monday we started our family history. We had the elders quorum come, and then we had the relief society come, and then we had the young men and young women come, and then we had every different quorum or activity or auxiliary come and have a day where they did family history, and we gathered thousands of names that these members took to the temple there a couple months later, and it was a really cool activity. I actually ended up doing that activity again in Colette Olivia. Did you ever do that activity again?
Um, I don't remember. I'm sure I did, but
Yeah.
I don't remember if I did or didn't.
Dude, I did that activity again in Colette Olivia, and I remember I followed all my family history back all the way to Jesus Christ and Heavenly Father, and on there it says Elohim, and I remember one of the members that was really big into family history in the ward in Colette Olivia. Literally, she saw that and she just started sobbing. She's like, "You don't know how lucky you are to have a family history that goes all the way back." She's like, "I can't even go like 3 or 4 generations back," and I was like, "That's bizarre, dude. It's completely bizarre." So we're lucky to have the family history we have. Um,
Yeah.
do you have any fun stories from our time in Ushuaia together?
Right off the top of my head, dude, it's hard to pick. I remember I remember one time that we were walking down the street. Um we were walking on the street Falcunda Quiroga,
Oh yeah,
and
I know
was
where
that the
this is
street
going.
where that school was on? Where
Yeah,
the school was on?
yep,
Well,
yep.
I remember walking down that street, and there was this mad dog that just jumped out, came at us, and I don't know why, but or how, but I somehow made it so that you were between me and the dog,
Dude, you went
and I was
running
kind of
full speed. Come on.
yeah. I took off running, and that dog was just not having it, and he was just sitting there like barking at us, ready to attack at any moment. And I remember
He was
you just
chasing
had
me.
to, yeah, like that crazy days.
Oh man, that dog was evil. After that, I carried a half of a broom handle. Do you remember that thing?
Yep.
I've got pictures of it somewhere. All right. I got a bone to pick with you here. Do you remember this right here? Do you freaking remember this? This is your first zone
I
conference.
remember drawing the Montevideo flag.
Yeah, I painted those mountains. I painted both of them, and then you took that picture with that flag and you wrote home and told your mom you were the one that painted those, and I was so pissed. I was like, this turd dude told his mom that he painted the mountains.
Did I
Uh
say what? I think he. I
no,
don't remember that.
that was accurate. I was so mad. You're like, it was on a P day. You came to me like, guess what? I was like, what? You're like, I sent my mom those pictures. She said they were cool. I told her I painted the mountains. I was so mad at you, dude. I was like, bruh, I painted those things. Gosh dang you. Oh my gosh. That was my handy artwork, not yours. Anyways, silly crap, man. So, dude,
I probably drew a couple trees.
you probably did. I'm sure you did. Oh, Gabby. Um, I'm trying to think. Okay, so do you remember our sleepovers with the of course you remember our sleepovers with Frasa and Davis and Machado and Woodrum?
Yeah, I do. Of
Oh
course.
yeah. Those were good times, man. Um I just remember one time we Elder Machado, Elder Frasa and I we went up in the attic and we covered the top with a mattress and wouldn't let you guys up there. Do you remember that?
Hey, I ended up getting up there.
You did. You pushed through. You were pissed when you got through though.
Yeah, a
Oh
little
man.
bit, but one of
Dude,
those days. It was one of those times where it's like, dude, I need to sleep. We're going on a long hike tomorrow.
oh
I
yeah.
need to sleep
Those hikes were fun though. Those hikes were so fun.
very much,
Um,
very much.
do you remember the oh what was it? It was the zone conference when you and Grant and Paulo and was it just the four of us that slept in our apartment?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, what is Paulo's phrase that he said the bamboo chair? Do you remember that?
I don't know. I don't do no damn bamboo chair.
That's what it was. So we had these junky little bamboo chairs, and Paulo's he's a bigger guy. He's an islander, so uh he's born and raised in Utah, but his parents are Tongan, right? Is it Tongan or Samoan,
Yeah.
or I think it's Tongan, right?
I think- Yeah.
Anyways, he's built like an islander, and we're sitting there. I was like, hey, Paulo, pull up a chair so you don't have to sit on the ground. He's like, I don't do no damn bamboo chair. It was so funny, dude. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love Palu so much. Do you remember, dude, do you freaking remember Grant like doing surgery on his ingrown toenail in our apartment?
Was it in our apartment? I
Yeah. Well,
I thought it
partially.
was earlier.
He like did it and then he like did it again. Like, oh dude, that was so nasty. Poor Palu, dude. That ingrown toenail was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Um, let's see here. What was the picture I wanted to show? Oh my gosh. How about we tell Karina's story?
Oh man, I remember this day.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Karina, here's Karina and Omar, and there's Tyle. And this was Carter's and my favorite family, and still is our favorite family from Ushuaia to this day, pretty much. And anyways, we go over there. We go over there a lot. They were so good to us, and they fed us all the time. I've talked about them many, many, many times now. But we're over there one day, and Karina or Tyle was crying pretty heavily, and he was having a fit. And in Argentina, they're just very straightforward. But one day, oh my gosh, I can't even tell the story without laughing. Anyways, we're over there, and they always say to the baby like, "Ah, solo quieres la teta," which like means you only want to drink from the boob, is like the direct translation. And anyways, right at the moment that Karina says that, Carter sticks his feet out under the table. And who did you kick? Omar?
Yeah, Omar. Well, Omar accidentally kicked me,
Oh,
and
was
he
that
said,
what is?
Yeah, he accidentally kicked me, and he goes, disculpe, Elder, which means, excuse me, like, sorry about that."
Yeah.
And in the same moment that he kicked me, I was still fairly new to the mission, and I was dying to say really anything, like any kind of phrase or sentence, and um, very shyly I said, está bien. But if you say it in the right way, like I did, it sounds like the word también, which means
Me
which
too.
means same. Me too, same.
It's
And so
so.
right when I said está bien, like they heard también. Right after she said the phrase, creo que él quiere la teta nomás,
Oh my gosh.
and so when she said that, they all heard me too,
So,
and they were looking at me like, "Oh, maldito Elder."
dude, it was so funny. Quick rehash of that. So in English terms, Karina said to Tyel, "Oh, you just want to drink from the tit," was the exact translation. And Carter gets kicked from under the table. Hermano Maurice says, "I'm sorry," and Carter goes, "It's okay," but because the words are so similar, it sounded like "me too." So it sounded like he was saying "me too" from drinking from the tit. Anyways, it was hysterical, and I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life with Hermano. Just like ever laughed that hard in my life. That was
Well, everybody
hysterical.
started laughing. Everybody started laughing, and I'm just sitting there blank face, like, what's going on?
I
What's so
know.
funny?
Oh my gosh, dude. I remember looking at you and be like, "What did you just say?" And you're like, "Está bien." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, dude. I That is not what I heard. That is not what I heard at all."
You can't script things like that, man.
You can't, dude. Oh my gosh, you really can't. Dude, I remember Family Maidana when we went over to their house. Sadly, I don't have pictures of them on my Instagram, but do you remember when we walked into their house the one time and the daughter was listening to Imagine Dragons?
Yep.
Dude, I remember you and I both walked in, we looked at each other, we were like, "Oh no." It was just like the like it was like a relief to hear Imagine Dragons, but it made me so trunky to like want to listen to them. So
Yeah.
Carter and I bonded a lot over music. In fact, I had this little green and brown notebook about that big, and Carter gave me like probably 50 or 60 songs that I needed to come home and listen to that had come out while I was on my mission. In fact, you were the one that kind of introduced me to Post Malone. Like I obviously knew his song "Congratulations," but I was like so excited to come home and listen to Post Malone. So
Yeah, I remember telling you Psycho
yeah,
was the one to listen to.
yeah. Do you remember when we went to Presidente Romero's house? That was the bishop or the branch president of the ward, and we were walking and they had that skate park right in front of their apartment complex.
And J. Cole was playing. I do
Yep.
remember.
No role models. Dude, I remember having just about having a heart attack hearing that song because you and I would literally walk in the street and sing that song constantly.
Oh yeah.
That one and what was the other one? The uh, what was it? Something of the jet ski. Yeah. Oh, what was it?
Oh, going through the air right here, right now, sliding on the water like a jet ski.
There
Now
we
I'm
go.
trying to put you on your bestie.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Rick Flair,
Ric Flair drip.
drop
Yeah, that's what it
by
is. That's what it
Metro
is.
Boomin
Dude,
was
I came home and I listened to that song so
that
much.
was the song.
Yeah, yeah. When I got home, I got released, dude. That was the song, bro. I went straight to it. I was like, bro, this is so good. I had never heard that song though, so oh my gosh. Carter was just showing
I
me.
would
Go ahead.
no, just that one song I would sing, just that one line. That's all. That's the only line I would know,
I
and
know.
I just sing it a lot.
Oh my gosh. So this picture behind us right now is Carter and I making food at the Mauder's house. Um, and Carter was literally when I was having my camera issues and I was trying to get it set up again. Carter was showing me a video of me doing this right here. He has a video of this picture. That was pretty funny. When I have you back on, we'll have to have you have all those videos up that we can look at too. That'll be fun.
Yeah,
All right, Carter, are you River? Or are you Boca, bro?
I'm River.
Okay,
El
good.
mejor.
Ahí estamos. There you go.
River.
So River, there's Boca and there's River in Argentina. Boca's probably the bigger of the two, but they're the two competing soccer teams. And when missionaries get to the mission, they pretty much choose one of the two teams. There's also San Lorenzo, which is a much smaller team, but I chose Boca. And this family, the Maures family, they're San Lorenzo fans, and so I found this shirt and a baby size shirt for dirt cheap at this like store down the street on the Facunda Quiroga street, down the street from our house. And I was like, I have to buy it and give it to Tyel. I have to do it and have a matching shirt. So that is how I converted Tyel to River there. So I also converted Carter. And Carter was a little bit of a betrayer there for a little bit, weren't you? Didn't you kind of go Boca for a little bit?
Only when the people I was talking to were Boca.
There you go. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. I would always just be like, when they ask me, I would say River, and if they were like, oh no, 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 I just always change the topic to, pero Messi es el mejor, no? Messi's the best, right? And that shut them up real quick, because then they would rant about that. Or I'd ask
Yeah.
him, ¿quién es el mejor, Messi or Ronaldo? And they'd always be like, oh, Messi, 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 which is true. Messi is the best. Oh my goodness, you remember these?
Your last day in the area. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Last day in the area. This was in Cementerio de los Perros, right down the street from the Maidana house.
Yep.
Those were some cool pictures. These were really fun pictures to take. We had such a fun companionship. There's the Maidanas right there. This is Familia Maidana. Their daughter was obsessed with K-pop. She liked Imagine Dragons. I think she did. She ever listen to Post Malone? Did we ever hear Post Malone at their house?
No, it was never
Uh,
Post Malone.
just Imagine Dragons. Dude, this family they were so cool. They were one of the most amazing families. Every time we went over to their house, every time, without a doubt, they had a movie playing in the background, and it was so hard to like. I just end up watching it because it was like just there. I remember that's where I saw.
Well, it was there. It was on their big. It was on their wall because they were the only people I remember that had a projector,
Yeah,
and they projected it onto their wall, and it was they would play it super loud too.
yeah, and we always had It was always a fideos con tuco, and she'd grind that fresh cheese on there. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Oh, dude, that was so good. Oh my goodness. Hermana Maidana was awesome. She emails, or she doesn't email me. She messaged me on Facebook every once in a while here and there. And I love that family. I want to go back so bad and see them. They're awesome. I remember that's where I saw part of Black Panther at their house when it had just come out. And I remember it came on, I was like, oh, I want to watch this. That was horrible, but they always had something playing, man. They were awesome. Do you remember she would always watch all the K-pop videos while we were there?
Yeah.
Always,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
Always
I
until
was.
I tell her mom, turn it off.
Yep.
Dude, those freaking K-pop videos, they were pretty good. I was just happy to hear any music other than like hymns, to be honest with you.
I remember one day we went upstairs with them,
Oh
and
yeah.
the little boy of the family, I can't remember his name, but he was just playing Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, that's
And we're
right.
sitting there watching him, and we were like, "You are too young to be playing a video game like this." And he was just
Shooting everybody
going
up.
around, shooting everybody up, killing everybody. It was like, wow.
Dude, I totally I can't believe that. Here's the Alfonsos. Do you remember them, right?
Yep, I do.
Do you, do you remember the Plenta
I do. I
story?
do.
Okay, I'll tell this real quick here. Polenta. There's so if you know cream of wheat, there's the equivalent. It's a cornmeal version of cream of wheat, pretty much, and it's they eat it savory, and a lot of times they coat it with a red sauce and put like what do you call it? Like ground beef on top of it. And this was probably what was it? It probably was the very first place you ate when you first got there, right?
Um,
I
the
don't know.
very first meal,
Yeah, it
or
was one of the very first lunches that you had in Ushuaia.
lunches. Yeah, the first I remember we got to Ushuaia on a Wednesday, and Wednesdays was with Familia Mena, and so I remember we had the first meal we had was with were Milaneses with Familia Mena,
That's right.
and I
Wait,
think and
was
I
it
think
Thursdays with the
Thursday
Manus?
it was a day, but
It was one of the two.
I remember my first meal with that was Milaneses with Familia Mena.
That's so
But I
crazy,
think
dude.
when but in like the following day or two, it was with the Alfonsos.
Yeah. So a little bit about this story is the Alfonsos. The wife here, she was an amazing cook. And I think one day she just didn't have as much time. Generally, she'd serve us like gnocchi or like this chicken mix stuff. It was so good. She always had super good food, and I really liked polenta. And I remember one day she served us polenta, and it just happened to be Carter's first day going to their house. And I was evil. I feel bad for this sometimes, but other times I have to laugh pretty hysterically. Um, I told Carter, if they ask you if you want more, say como no. And so we're sitting there, and Carter was like choking this polenta down, and he did not like it one bit. And Herman Alfonso comes over, and she's like, Elder Rathmann, would you like more? And he looks at her and he goes, como no? And she's like, okay, grabs his plate and serves him this heaping plate of polenta, man. And his face, he looks at me like, I hate you with a passion. It was so funny. You remember that, right?
I do,
Oh,
and it almost ruined polenta for me for like the whole mission. I mean, she was serving it to us plain, but it wasn't for like the next year of my mission that I finally had like a good plate of polenta. I was like,
oh.
okay, that's pretty good.
It is good. It really is. Oh my goodness. The Moresis. I love the Moresis. They were so cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. We had fun in that district. I'm trying to think if there's any other pictures that we're missing here. Uh any other good ones? Let's see. I wish I had more of my pictures from my time in Ushuaia posted on here. I guess they just didn't get posted. Um that dog. It looks like I'm freaking choking the dog out. Oh, dude, these hikes were so fun. You remember this hike, right? Was this your first hike or was this your second hike?
So my first hike was when we tried going up with just Elder Davis, Elder Frasa, Elder Machado, you
La-
and I.
yeah, Laguna de los Tempanos, right?
Yeah, we tried going up all the way, and eventually we ran into someone hiking down, and he said, "Guys, unless you have like gear, you won't make it up there."
Yeah,
And we had no gear, so we decided to turn back. But then right after that was my next hike that I went on.
that's crazy, dude. That was a fun hike. Those are fun times, man. This was, I think that was Laguna Esmeralda. So,
Yeah.
hey, Bernhardt, you were companions with him a little bit there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Last quick story here before we let Carter go. But do you remember when Elder Frasa, I dared him to jump on the ice?
Yeah, I remember.
So Elder Frasa is where is he at in this picture? I don't see him.
He
Do you
is
see him?
right between
Oh, here.
Bernhardt and
Yeah.
yeah.
That's Elder Frasa right there. Anyways, Frasa, there was this ice was probably a good foot thick. It was thick ice, but we're standing there and it looks like somebody had gone ice fishing on here. And I was like, "Hey, Frasa, I dare you to jump on that as hard as you can." He's like, "All right." So he walks over and he jumps on the ice fishing hole. Nothing, just bounces off of it. And then I was like, "I dare you to do it again." He was like, "All right." And by this time, all the sisters came over to see what was going on, and I kind of took a step back because I was going to videotape. And he jumps and goes straight through it, and then all the ice caves in, and all the sisters go in with him, bro. And they were all like, what, waist deep, probably. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, those were good times, man. Crazy experiences, but super fun times. So, anyways, all right, dude. Well, hey, thanks for coming and chatting with me on here. We'll have you back on one more time before I finish the series. So, appreciate it,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everyone like and share, subscribe.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Alrighty, guys. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.